Hello and welcome to Sneaky Stories, home of short stories you can sneak into your day. Get ready to go on an adventure with some of the Sneaky Universe characters. Today we have a story from the Monicow series. My name is Pauline and I'm your storyteller, and I can't wait to share today's story with you. Remember, there aren't any pictures, so you'll need to imagine them. You can imagine the pictures any way you like. The Great Tiger Rescue. It was a hot, dry summer's day. The kind of day where you wish a rain cloud would spontaneously appear right above your head and shower you with a fine, refreshing mist. That, however, was unlikely. Monicow, Bovine Superhero to the stars and anyone needing rescue, was perched under the shade of a giant river gum tree trying to cool off. This particular giant river gum tree, as it happens, was nowhere near a river, or she would have been cooling herself in it instead of making do with the shade while she waited for duty to call. Monicow was thinking of her most recent heroic exploit, saving child chess prodigy Olga Czechmate from the supervillain and self-appointed monarch King Maximus of Maxiland, where everything is supersized. This time he had been trying to kidnap Olga so that he could replicate her well-developed, superior strategic brain and implant the replica into a robot sergeant to command his army of robot soldiers. But Monicow, Bovine Superhero to the stars and anyone needing rescue, had foiled his attempt. It had been simple, really. Monicow smirked as she thought about it. All she had done was disguise herself as Olga and wait for King Maximus while Olga was safely hidden away. It was Monicow sitting in the middle of the stadium at the World Chess Championship winning. Olga had been directing the moves through an earpiece, waiting for the moment King Maximus attempted to steal her away. He had waited until the second last move before dropping down on a string line from a helicopter to snatch Olga up and away to Maxiland. King Maximus certainly was surprised when he tried to pick up Olga to attach her to his harness. She was a lot heavier than he expected. It was at that point Monicow thought it was time to reveal herself. She dramatically removed her wig and glasses, disguising her real identity, flexed her front and hind legs so that the skirt and blouse tore apart to reveal her cape and utility belt. That was the moment Maximus realized his plan had been thwarted. He immediately pressed the emergency lift button and zipped back up to the helicopter in seconds before zooming away through the air empty-handed. Monicow knew this would not be the last time she would defeat Maximus. He was always scheming and designing cunning plans to take over the world, though it would probably be a little while before she heard from him again. He needed time to come up with his next plot. A single fluffy wisp of a cloud came into view. That is not going to bring cooling rain, thought Monicow. Oh well, at least she could just continue to relax in the shade, conserving her energy. She had a feeling she would need it soon. Someone was bound to need rescuing. She was just starting to doze off when she heard a ring from her utility bell. Activating the speaker function on her utility bell, Monicow took the call. "This is Monicow, Bovine Superhero to the stars and anyone needing rescue, at your service." Hello, Monicow, we need your help. Our precious fur baby Catnip is stuck in a tree." "I see. What kind of fur baby are we talking about?" "Catnip is a tiger. He's not as young as he used to be and struggles a little moving about in his old age. We're not quite sure how he even got up the tree. You may recognize Catnip from some of his many movie roles. He played the lead role Kimba in The Tiger King, a story about a young tiger cub whose uncle kills his brother and wrongfully assumes the position of king because everyone thinks the cub was also killed. Eventually Kimba returns to take his rightful position as king. He was also in the Chronicles of Farnia, The Tiger, the Wizard and the Pantry, a fantasy film based on a kid's book of the same name, where some children stumble into a fantasy world through a magical pantry and team up with the noble tiger and rightful king of Farnia, Baslan, to fight the evil wizard who has taken control of Farnia. Or you may have seen him battling Hercules in the first of the 12 labours, killing the Lemnian tiger. Catnip played that role with such restraint, so it could be believed that a man could actually win a battle against a tiger. And that's fine. I understand. Your fur baby is very special. Of course I will rescue Catnip. I am, after all, Monicow, Bovine Superhero to the stars and anyone needing rescue. If you could please send me the coordinates of the location of the tree where Catnip is stuck directly to my utility bell, I can be on my way to rescue Catnip. Beep bop bop sounded the utility bell. The coordinates had arrived. It was time for Monicow to be on her way. She hurried over to the cow cave, jumped into the cowmobile. The utility bell connected to the car's navigation system and set off to rescue fur baby Catnip. The cowmobile glided through the air easily, manoeuvring around trees, chimneys, street signs, and kites alike. Even at its fastest speed, it still took Monicow a good 15 minutes to get to the scene of the rescue. Monicow had been working on a new mode of transport which would enable her to instantly teleport to any destination so that she could more quickly save stars and anyone needing rescue. But this invention was still a way off. The cowmobile would have to suffice in the meantime. Monicow switched on the autopilot and thought about how to get a large elderly tiger stuck in a tree back down to the ground. Catnip's owners enthusiastically greeted Monicow upon her arrival. They were understandably very concerned about their celebrity pet high up in the topmost branches of a pine tree. It seemed that they had tried to coax Catnip down, but obviously they had not been successful. Perhaps they had not used anything enticing enough. Motivating any animal that was scared was not an easy feat. Monicow decided she needed a closer look to properly plan the rescue mission. Flicking a few knobs on her utility bell, Monicow activated her hover hooves and slowly rose up to scope out the situation. Catnip had found a comfortable branch almost at the very top of the tree and curled up for a nap. Perhaps he was not scared at all, and just enjoying the serenity up here away from all the hustle and bustle at ground level. Monicow could understand this. Sometimes being famous just got too much and you needed a little bit of alone time. Anyway, it did not look like Catnip was moving any time soon. Monicow gracefully floated back towards the ground. "Your fur baby is fast asleep," Monicow told the owners. "Well, it is his afternoon nap time. All cats, small and large, like to spend a good part of the day napping. When we are on a set shooting a film, Catnip can get very grumpy if he misses nap time. We found it was best to simply organise the filming around him and always tell the director at the start of the shoot. It usually takes them about a week to understand that a well-rested tiger is more preferable to work with than a grumpy one. Then everyone is much happier." "Right. Well, thanks for that valuable information. That is very useful to know. Just how long does nap time normally last?" "Anywhere between 2 and 3 hours. But he would have expended quite a bit of energy getting up that tree, so he could be down for longer. He is an elderly tiger." "And what is it that you do if you need to wake him from a nap?" "Oh, no, we wouldn't advise that. Imagine that you are a sleeping tiger rudely awakened in the middle of your nap. How do you think you might react?" "Oh, I see. Perhaps we should just wait for Catnip to wake. What is his favourite treat?" "He is partial to marinated beef ribs." "Oh, Well, I'm not sure if that's lucky or unlucky. I am told I smell delicious, but I guess we should use it to our advantage." A plan was forming in Monicow's head. While Catnip slept, Monicow prepared herself for the rescue. She would need to smell very tempting to entice Catnip to follow her down the tree, but not so tempting that he would try to eat her while still high up in the tree. "Could you please prepare some beef ribs for Catnip? Perhaps the smell will draw him out of his nap quicker." "Of course. With what do you marinate them?" "Well, actually, it's a family recipe handed down to me by my mother from her mother, who learnt it from her mother. First, I rub each rib in a mix of brown sugar, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, mustard powder, salt, and pepper, and then I cook them in barbecue sauce." "Well, I guess if I ate meat, I might find that quite tasty too. I understand why Catnip would like them. Can you make enough rub so that I can coat myself in it?" "Of course. And do you have enough barbecue sauce for me to spread on my legs and belly? Yes. Perfect. Then could you also please start cooking some ribs so that when I get Catnip down, a treat will actually be waiting for him? We wouldn't want to disappoint him, would we? Or end up with anyone missing a chunk out of them because a tiger wanted a snack. We'll get right on it. Sometime later, the smell of freshly barbecued beef ribs started to fill the air. Monicow found an industrial-sized fan and placed it directly behind the barbecue so that it pushed the smell towards the pine tree where Catnip napped. Catnip was just starting to stir. He noticed the sweet smell of barbecued beef ribs, his favourite treat, wafting through the air around him. He let out an excited roar. Monicow knew it was time. She turned on the mini fans that came out of her utility bell so that her tasty smell would continue to entice Catnip, switched on the hover hooves, and rose up to Catnip's position in the tree. Sniffing the air, Catnip turned his head to see Monicow tantalizingly close. He started to move from his sleeping position and onto his paws, ready to pounce. Monicow was ready. She hovered down the tree, one branch at a time, leading Catnip down along a safe path until he reached the ground. Catnip's owners were thrilled to have their fur baby back. Catnip was happy to be munching on a large bowl of barbecue beef ribs. "Oh, thank you so much for helping us get our fur baby back safely, Monicow." "No thanks required. I am Monicow, Bovine Superhero to the stars and anyone needing rescue. I'm just doing my job."
I think I'll be off now. Catnip is enjoying those ribs a little too much for my liking, and I don't want to be here while I smell so good after he finishes what's in his bowl. He, of course, would never catch me, but I certainly don't want him to get injured trying after all that effort to get him down safely. And with that, Monicow, Bovine Superhero to the stars and anyone needing rescue, slid into the cowmobile and plugged in coordinates for the nearest river. She would need to wash the marinade off.
If you would like a free Sneaky Universe colouring and activity book, visit www.sneakyuniverse.com/Sneaky Stories Podcast. Sneaky Stories is a Sneaky Universe production. Written, hosted and edited by Pauline. The music is by Trailer Works. If you would like more stories, visit www.sneakyuniverse.com.